Welcome back, guys. Big Al's All Access video. Before we get into the complimentary selection, we're doing this on Sunday night. It's actually halftime of the Kansas City Chiefs matchup. They are currently losing 14-6 against Green Bay. We're going to talk about a few subjects, touch on them today, and then see if we can make it a December to remember, especially with college basketball, because today, before we get into what Al did all week, he hit the largest underdog, not that he had him on the money line, and we'll discuss that in a second, the largest underdog I've ever seen. Georgia Southern, I'm sorry, Southern, not Georgia Southern. Southern plus 26. They won the game outright 60-59. Did you have him on the money line? And if you didn't, Al, tell the listeners why.
Well, I didn't have them on the money line because I didn't think there was value on the money line. Like BetMGM, if you wanted to take Mississippi State straight up, you had to lay $100 to win a dollar. What they were offering on Southern was plus 1,600. I mean, to me, that's just not. I mean, if you would have offered me 30 to 1, sure. But
Which is what I originally thought it should be, right?
Sure, yeah, but plus 1,600. I mean, it's like they're literally saying to you, "Fuck off." That's
Right.
what they're saying. They're basically saying we don't want to take the bet. That's fine. You just take them plus the 26 points. No, that's not the biggest underdog that you have ever seen, Eric. I mean, if you remember last year, I think the Iowa Hawkeyes, I think that was that they lost straight up one game as a 31 point.
And I think yesterday Pennsylvania was laying 22 and they lost outright against Bucknell.
Yeah, I mean, you see them from time to time, but this was a huge underdog, and Southern U, they were playing horribly going into the game. They were 0-5 straight up and against the spread. I love them. It's one of my favorite plays of the season. And, obviously you never expect that they're going to win straight up, but I did expect that they'd cover the plus 26. They outscored Mississippi State, which is a top 25 team, outscored them 12-0 down the stretch to win the game by a point. Unbelievable.
And while we're talking, by the way, you just cashed another ticket as Stanford gets the win, minus 14.5, winning 88-64. So let's talk about, if you were an All Access member this week, how it went down on a day-by-day basis so you understand the variance of why you need to be a larger bettor to handle the volume and handle what I call the stock trading ups and downs of sports wagering. On Monday, if you bet a dime per unit, you made $5,800. On Tuesday, you lost $64.50. On Wednesday, you won $16,850. On Thursday, you won $6,000. On Friday, you won $78.50. On Saturday, yes, Al, your 10-unit lost. You lost $5,200 for the day. You had other games which covered some of that loss. I know you're shaking your head. You lost that Louisville 10-unit play. Florida State wins. And before you tell me why it's a double beat, they win and they get shut out. We'll get to that in a second. Sunday today, you win $6,200 as that dirty dog Carolina plus the 3.5 cashes, even though they did not, I believe they did not win, and they're now like 1-10 straight up. Taking your total for the week plus $31,050. So you're a dime player per unit. You started with $100,000 on Monday. You made $31,000, which is 31% for the week. And you got to be able to handle the ups and downs, as me and Al talk about. And, try not to blow yourself up chasing and doing dumb stuff. I hear it all the time. Al will tell you, we have thick reptile skin. We deal with professional bettors 99% of the time. And then you're going to get the rogue emotional gamblers. They're going to send you stupid text and stupid nonsense. And you know what we do? We just let it roll off our back and ignore it because you can't change stupid, can you, Al?
You can't. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is, if I rate the games 10, 8, 6, whatever the rating is, they'll see 10. It ain't a 10. They think it's a 25.
Or 100.
I think that's one, or whatever, right? And they think that's one of the, or they see 3 and 2 and 1, and they say, oh, I don't need to play those games.
Right.
I think that's the biggest mistake that people make is they think that just because a game is higher rated, it's a 100% certainty, and they can literally just write a check to themselves. And that's not the way this works. Unfortunately, I wish it did, but it doesn't.
Exactly. So like I said, today was a perfect example. And in terms of your wins and losses On today, you were dead even. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You were 4-4 today, Al, plus 6,200. So you're plus 6.2 units going 4-4 today. And that shows the power of the unit betting system. You lost Washington. You lost the under 47 in the Lions game. You lost the Saints. You lost the over in the Chargers game. So what? You win the 49ers. You win Morehead State. You win Stanford. You win Southern. Not to mention that most non-professional gamblers wouldn't even look at a college basketball game or even an NBA game on an NFL Sunday because they're glued to the TV and they're hyper focused on the one sport and they just forget about the fact that there's other opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I treat all the sports equally. So, I can have a huge college basketball play the same day as a Monday night football game. And more often than not, I'm not even playing the Monday night football game. So, but that's just what a professional handicapper does, Eric.
Exactly. So if you want to send me a text right there below, 775-636-7676. If you were one of the people that purchased on Saturday, the Big Al's play and it went down, you got today's games on us absolutely free. And we'll always get you right. That's how we work it here. We've been doing this 35 years, me, 45 years, him. I mean, it's hard to believe we have 80 years between us in this business. I don't really know of any other veterans in the business that long. So let's get to tonight's complimentary selection. We're talking about the Pacers-Boston NBA matchup. What have we got?
Well, I don't know if you remember way back on the fourth game of this season, Eric, the Indiana Pacers suffered one of the worst losses in NBA history when Boston blasted them 155-104. But
Wow.
notwithstanding that loss, I mean, the Pacers have had a nice season so far. They're 10-8 straight up, also 10-8 against the spread. They're outscoring their opponents by 2.83 points per game. At home, they're covering the spread by 2.86 points per game. In contrast, the Celtics are failing to cover the spread by 4.7 points per game on the road. And now you look at how the Indiana Pacers are playing most recently. They just blew out Miami 144-129. And that bodes well for them in this game because teams off a win that are playing with revenge from a 50-point or worse defeat in the prior meeting. Believe it or not, it's happened 10 times. Those teams have gone 10-0 ATS since 1990. I'm going to take Indiana plus the 5 points.
There you go, guys. Indiana Pacers plus the 5. We'll be back with a complimentary selection tomorrow, 775-636-7676. Talk to you soon. Send me a text, Big Al, if you want to take your wagering to a whole nother level and make it a December to remember. And as always, good day and good luck.